Hi, my name is Gwinnetta Wright, otherwise known as Gwen Wright, and I want to welcome you to the upcoming tax season Tax Talk with Gwen. What I do is I go live prior to the new tax season and during the tax season, and I do tax tips to make taxpayers understand. I have a better understanding of the different tax laws and different things that can affect their taxes. So today I am topping today off with how to prevent student loans from getting offset. So from this previous tax season that we just had, what I noticed, and I've been doing taxes for 15 years, is that this particular year is a lot of people tax refunds was offset due to them being in default for student loans. So this year I want to try to help some of y'all keep y'all money from getting taken, because student loan took a lot of money from a lot of people this year. And so I'm gonna give you some tips of what you can do or things that you can look for to try to prevent your tax refund being offset. So one thing you need to do is, if you got student loans and you're no longer in school, and you feel like you cannot pay or start making payments on your student loans, you need to apply for a deferment or a forbearance for your student loans. When you apply for a deferment and a forbearance, you select a certain time amount that you do not have to make payments to student loans, and then you're in good standing with them. You're not in default. So a lot of times, a lot of people don't even, when they through with school and their student loans start to come in, they don't do absolutely nothing. They just look at me like, oh, I can't pay that. You do not have to do that in most cases. You can do a forbearance or a deferment on your student loans if you qualify. And a lot of times, most people qualify. I don't know too many people that don't qualify unless you just make boo-boo-boo-coo money. And if you make boo-boo-coo money, then you should be able to afford to make the payments anyway. So all you have to do is figure out where your student loans at, apply for a deferment and a forbearance for ever how long you want to. So it can be 6 months, it can be 12 months, it can be 3 months. But one thing I noticed that people that do apply for those things, what they don't do is they apply for it one time, and then they never go back and check if it's out of it. So if you have done one, you need to go back and check to see if those 6 months or 12 months are up, and see if you can reapply for one or either start making your payment arrangements. Because if you do not do that, then your student loan is going to default. And when it's time for you to file your taxes and it's time for you to get a tax refund, believe you me, student loan is going to intercept that and take your whole tax refund. And so again, a good way to keep your tax refund to be offset from student loan is to get your student loans in forbearance and or a deferment. Now, we have people who have student loans who have not made payments on their student loan, and now their student loans are in default. One thing I do is advise you, do not file your tax refund or return if you know that you're in default with student loans, because it ain't no way around it. They're going to take your money, right? But the only how they're not going to take your money is you need to call them. So it's a little late in the game now, but I guess it's never too late. But call them, set up payment arrangements, try to get the lowest payment arrangement you can get. And then you have to make 6 to 9 payments consecutively. And once you do that, then your student loan will be out of default. And then I will file my tax return. Now, if you're in default right now, 6 months from now is after April the 15th. But just file an extension on your tax return. And then once those 6 months or 9 months has went by, then file your tax return. And then that way your refund won't get taken. So make sure y'all do the proper things that need to be done in order for you not to get your refund offset this tax season. Student loans is the biggest person that intercept tax refunds, and they're not playing with y'all. So again, let me just recap some of the things you can do. One, go ahead and see if you can put your student loans in deferment or do a forbearance on it if you have not already done that. If you do have a forbearance or a deferment on your student loans, see when that ends. Because a lot of times you don't even remember when you applied for it. See when that ends, and to make sure that if it ends, say in February, and you might not file your taxes to April, that you get you reapply for one, or you go ahead and get into a payment plan. Now, I guess I do need to say this. If you're coming out of forbearance or a deferment, then you don't have to wait the 6 to 9 months to do 6 to 9 consecutive payments. You only have to do that if your student loan is in default. So if your deferment or your forbearance is going to end anytime between January and April the 15th, then you want to make sure that you get in there and either redo another deferment or forbearance, or you start your payment arrangements, and then that way they won't intercept your tax refund. Again, if you are in default with student loans, make sure that you go ahead, I would try now to go ahead and set up payment arrangements with them so that you can start your 6 to 9 month consecutive payments so that you can get out of default. If before tax season start and you need to see if student loan is going to intercept your tax return, it's a debt number that you can call. I'm not going to say it's 100% accurate because sometimes it's not. The number is 1-800-304-3107. Again, that number is 1-800-304-3107. And that's for anybody who feel like somebody's going to take their actual refund or could take their refund. If you call that number, it's called the debt number, IRS debt number. And what it would do is you put a few pieces of information in, I think your social, your birthday, and then it will pull up or tell you whether or not you're going to have an offset. I don't know if it will tell you right now, but when January come in, if you don't know for sure, go ahead and call that number. And if you are going to have an offset, then what's going to do is going to tell you who's going to offset it, and it's going to give you a number for you to be able to call whoever's going to offset, and then that way you know how much debt you have, because just because you have an offset doesn't mean that they're going to take your whole refund. Some people get an offset just for not paying their state return or state payment from the year prior or a couple year prior, and say it might be $14, but it's still an offset. So they might say that on that number, but it gives you the information of the person that you can actually contact to be able to know who's gonna offset your tax return. Again, student loan is not playing. I've been doing taxes for 15 years. I don't know if something extra happened this year or whatever, but I do know that they did do a lot of offset. I've seen the most offsets for student loans this year than I've ever seen. So again, these are just some tips that you can utilize to be able to make sure that student loans do not offset your taxes this upcoming season. If you're not following my social media page or my tax preparation social media page, please follow us on all social media outlets at Expert Tax Service. And if you're looking for a new tax preparer this tax season, Expert Tax Service do taxes nationwide for all 50 states through our virtual tax preparation service. And we have 2 locations, one in Columbus, Georgia, and one in Stone Mountain, Georgia. Stay tuned. I'll be dropping a whole lot of different tips throughout from now until the end of tax season in reference to a lot of different credits. Bye-bye.